This video is going to make you 100 times better at prompting AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, and Manus. I'm going to show you 6 ways you can improve your prompts to get the most from LLM tools that you probably are using every day. Hey, I'm Craig Hewitt. Welcome back to 100 Days of AI. Let's just dive in and start with the very first principle of prompting, which is role. So I'm going to give a really basic prompt here, and then we're going to give it a role and a couple of different roles and see how the results in ChatGPT change as a result of defining and refining that role. So the prompt is write a blog post about Santa Monica, California tourism. So not a lot. If you've used ChatGPT at all, you'll know like that's not a great prompt, and this is going to give really basic generic stuff, right? Okay, so we know that's not great. Let's improve on this just a little bit. So let's give it a roll. You're a travel and tourism blogger. You've traveled the world and now write for a major travel magazine. And we're keeping the rest of the prompt. Let's see how it does. Okay, better, right? More context, talks about why you would want to go. A little longer. Okay, great. Okay, so that is a role. Let's give it a different role though. So here's the same kind of base prompt, but we're going to give it a different role. So the role here is slightly different. You're a tech investor and venture capitalist. Write a blog post about Santa Monica, California. So probably not going to have a lot about beaches here, right? Why Santa Monica is more than just a beach town? I lied. Okay. Tourism magnet, Silicon Beach connection, lifestyle as an economic boat, hybrid traveler, why Santa Monica matters for the future of travel, right? More than just a travel destination. Okay, so this is obviously fictitious, but just seeing how asking ChatGPT to assume a role, which is the first kind of principle of prompting, from different perspectives is going to give vastly different results. Okay, now we're going to increase the instruction part. So we have the role. So the role is going to be consistent here. Well, you're a travel blogger writing a piece for a major travel magazine. And the instructions, I use the word task, is to write a blog post about Santa Monica, California tourism. So we've seen what this gives. But what if we say instead of just a blog post, what if we say write a 1,500 word blog post? So write a 1,500 word blog post about Santa Monica, California tourism, write it from the first person of a travel guide and write it for expecting moms. So let's see kind of what the output difference area is here. So a gentle guide to Santa Monica, a baby moon haven for expecting moms. Okay, so right, so same topic, vastly different because we gave it clearer instruction both about length, right? This is a lot longer, and about who this is for. Cool. Okay, so let's expand on this even more. Oh my gosh, it's still going. Okay, so role, you're a travel blogger, task, write a 1,500 word blog post. Write in the first person of a travel guide for expecting moms. So, okay, write a 1,500 word blog post about Santa Monica, California tourism. Write it from the first person of a travel guide. Write it for expecting moms. Include a list of things to do while pregnant and guidance for avoiding smog and sunburn. So we're making it very ecologically aware here, right? Or environmentally aware. Okay, so a lot of the same stuff. Why it may be ideal, where to stay, gentle things to do, a stroll on the beach, tips for avoiding smog and sunburn. Okay, so just like more information about what you want it to do. I think this task is the main thing we think of when it comes to a prompt. It's like, hey, I'm asking you to do something, but this could be really, really, really robust. This could be pages of information if you get really serious. But just the more data you give it, especially with ChatGPT 5, as we talked about in a previous video, the better it's going to do. Okay, so context. So we've touched on this a little bit. We're gonna go with our base prompt here. And we're going to give it context a little bit. And the context kind of bleeds over into task and role a little bit, but we're going to give it its own special set of instructions. So it knows we're a travel blogger and it knows we're writing a piece for this travel magazine, and it knows what it's going to do. But like, why? What's the background on this? So context, so specific context in addition or outside of what we already have here. I was hired by Outside Magazine to write this article. It's targeted to first-time parents. And let's say make the article witty and funny but authoritative. So context, I just consider additional information that kind of is included in role or task, but you want to make really explicit. So let's see how it does here. So already, right? A guide to sunshine, smoothies, insanity. Right? So beach life without sunburn or smog. That's funny. That's like a layover, hangover. This is good, right? Fueling for two without settling for sad salads. So it's doing a good job, right? It's witty, it's funny. Your hotel room is more than just a bed; it's your crash pad. So a good job. Like we added the context, and it made the article better because it's writing from a better perspective. Okay, so we're going to take this and then we're going to add on the next layer of writing a great prompt, which is examples. So let's go out into the world and say Santa Monica, California. Santa Monica, California tourist guide. Okay, so let's see. We could take this article. So TripAdvisor. We could take this one from an independent person. This is probably better. And let's just we give it the exact same base prompt here. So we have role, task, context, and examples. So let's say use these two articles as examples of what we want to write. So it'd be interesting to see if ChatGPT goes out and looks these URLs up. Previously, it would have had a hard time. Okay, really different already. I wonder if it's just because we're asking it over and over the same thing. We are starting a new chat each time. You know, to me, interestingly, this looks like when you get kind of like chat fatigue, it just starts getting really kind of slow and repetitive like this. But this may just be the style of these articles. Yeah, I mean, this one looks pretty good. What does this TripAdvisor one look like? Yeah, so TripAdvisor is just a list. So that's probably why like the format of this one is just kind of bad. Is because we asked to look at TripAdvisor. Interesting. Let's take that out and see how it changes because maybe the examples we gave it were not great. So we're going to start a new chat. I'm going to paste this in. But we're going to take out the TripAdvisor example and just give it this LE and Co one. Let's see how different it is, right? Because that TripAdvisor one you saw, it was just like really, really, really just like just a bunch of lists. This one goes back to be more like paragraph style prose, which is, you know, what I would expect from a blog post. Okay, cool. So it wrote this like the article we looked at. So that's cool. Okay, so now that we've given a role, we've given it tasks or instructions, we've given it context, we've given it examples. Now let's give it constraints, right? What kind of don't we want it to do? What are the limits around how we want it to operate? Okay, so let's just make sure this is all laid out properly. Task, context, examples, and we don't want the TripAdvisor one because it was bad. So for constraints, I might have something like make sure you have at least one full day itinerary and give recommendations for bike rentals. Constraints can be positive or negative constraints. Can be this should definitely not be more than 1,500 words. This should never include bulleted lists. This must include bike rentals and itineraries, right? So bike friendly, top bike rentals, great. Bike paths, full day itinerary, right? So again, each time we make a prompt a little more complex, we get a little closer to what we ultimately want here. So constraints, again, can be kind of positively or negatively affecting the output of what we're going to get. Cool. Okay. And last one is format, output format. So how do I want this thing, right? So this could be like, hey, write this as JSON or XML or or Markdown, which is what we're going to ask it for, right? So get this all formatted one more time so we can see everything. Markdown is just a way to kind of visualize rich text like we see with bulleted lists and things like that. So it's going to make this kind of write like code, but it's a cool way to copy and paste it into other other applications. Interesting, it doesn't look like Markdown. It looks like rich text. A lot of times when you ask an LLM to write Markdown, it has the thing with like the 2 hashes or whatever. Well, that's not what I wanted. I want it to look like Markdown. So let's copy this and have it do it again. Have it Markdown as a file I can download. So let's see if it writes it and then does it and then downloads the file. You know, this could be format this as a table, format this as CSV, yeah, here Markdown, right? So you could copy or download this file. Format this as Markdown, format this as plain text, format this as Python code, right? How you want this thing you asked it to do formatted is really important. And so here you could copy this or you could download this as a file onto your computer. Okay, and from here, kind of 3 quick tips really on once you get a result like this. There are a couple ways I like to refine and iterate this. You could come in here and say, you might say something like, evaluate your own work. What would you change about this to make this the best blog post ever on this topic? Include reasons why. And so it's going to take a look at what it just did. It's going to go and think, and it's going to come back. Oh, cool. This is one of those split screens, right? So it's tone of voice, itinerary, depth, and right. So if you're just like, hey, I don't really know the answer here. I just want a thought partner, which is by far like ChatGPT's best attribute to me is as a thought partner because it has unlimited memory. It remembers everything we've already ever done. So it knows generally like how I want to think. You can also iterate. So say like, I'm not going to iterate this one, but you might say something like, okay, that's great. Now I wrote this in Claude. I want you to make it better. You might do something like that. Or, hey, I got this from Manus as like an output. I want you to iterate on this from here. And that is how I think about optimizing prompts when I'm using any LLM. So ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Manus, Gemini, Grok, it doesn't matter. They all operate on a lot of the same principles. And these 6 things that you include and refine in your prompts will just get you a better output. You know, a lot of times when I hear people say like, oh, AI sucks, it just doesn't do a good job. Almost always I'm saying to them, or I'm saying in mind, they're just not giving a good prompt. And it might not be the first time you write a prompt that it's really great. Oh, last tip, take this prompt. Oh my gosh, where's my prompt? Take this prompt and put it back into ChatGPT. We talked about the optimizer in the ChatGPT 5 video, but just ask it to improve it. So, role, you are a prompt engineer. Role, you are a prompt engineer. Task, evaluate and optimize this prompt to give me the best output ever. And then, you know, you can just give like a separator like that. So it's going to go away and think, and it's going to say, hey, how can I optimize this prompt? So clear high-level target audience, tightening words, remove vague language. Yep. Add specifics to guide and tone, request structure and headers, state tone balance, clarify formatting expectations, right? And it did all that. Like, look how good this prompt is. It's really clear. It's really just pretty. It's really optimized. And so especially if I'm building a system prompt for like an automation or to go into an agent or something, I'll definitely take the time to just stick my prompt back into ChatGPT and ask it to optimize it so that I get the best possible thing, right? Because my kind of one-time prompting like we did here is just not great. But especially if I want something to be really, really, really good, and I'm going to want it to be used over and over, like in a GPT or something, I'll definitely spend the time to have ChatGPT optimize the prompt. And just as a point here, I find ChatGPT is way better at creating and optimizing prompts than Claude. I haven't tried it in Gemini yet. I would guess it does a pretty good job. I find Gemini to be the most concise LLM on the market these days, and I'm going to do a video about it tomorrow. I'm Craig Hewitt. This is 100 Days of AI. I hope you're enjoying. If you are, please like, subscribe, smash the bell. Tell a friend about this, because that's what I'm doing this for y'all. And I want this to be something that everybody really loves and loves telling their friends about, because that's the ultimate sign that I'm doing a good job. So thank you very much for checking this out, and we'll see you tomorrow.